Hello again, everyone. It's Vince from TradingWinds.com. I hope everyone's enjoying their long weekend. I will keep this short. Just a quick recap from what happened last week and a few things to look for this coming week. The markets overall were up nicely on Friday. The Dow nearing back to its highs here. Now, these are the futures. They opened yesterday at 6 p.m. They're still pretty flat, pretty quiet, but we sit near all-time highs here. So for the Dow, what we're looking for this week is a break above the all-time high here. It is sitting right there. Fully expect that to happen. The S&P not quite back near their all-time highs, but there's a series of highs. I mean, this has been going on for almost 2 weeks, trying to get through this level. That's what we're looking for on the S&P this week. The Nasdaq currently up 32 points here, much farther away from that prior high, and certainly much farther away from its all-time highs up here, but looking like a pretty decent retest of that 20. So we spent some time below it, moves back above, comes back, confirms that it's holding support here. If we were to take out this high, I would fully expect a run to the all-time high. The Russell, again, we can mark this prior high here. That's what we'd be looking for on the Russell. So overall, a pretty bullish picture. All four index charts above the 20 on all three time frames, looking pretty good. If we look at crude oil, not looking as good. We sit below that 20 and still well within this range that we've been in for a very long time. Gold up 5 points here so far. Again, we're looking for a break of the prior highs. And silver currently retesting that 20. So this will be interesting to watch this week. Bond yields were mostly higher on Friday. The dollar currently sits at 101.66, coming back by the looks of it to retest the 20. So this will be an important retest as well. If it fails here, it's likely going to come back to test these lows, which again will take us outside this channel and most likely much lower. So this is going to be important as well. Now, this week coming up here, before I get to a few trade ideas, remember that this week on Tuesday, we have ISM manufacturing. We have the JOLTS jobs report or job openings on Wednesday, along with the ADP private sector payroll numbers. Thursday, ISM services, and then Friday, the big employment report. That is the biggie here. As you can see to the far right, this little bar chart right here, you can see that how the unemployment rate has been steadily rising here. So that's what we're, that's what we're going to continue to look for here. The consensus is 4.2, forecast 4.3, previous is 4.3. So a continuation of this trend should give us a bigger number here, and we'll see how the market reacts. As you know, we have the Fed's decision on interest rate coming. I believe their meeting is September 18th. So a little ways away, but these are the big news events, and by far the most important this week is Friday, the non-farm payroll numbers. Now, if we want to look at some trade ideas, there are several here, almost all of them to the long side. There is one to the short side here. Now, for some reason, my option chain was not working this morning. I know some of these definitely have liquid enough options to trade, but not quite sure about all of them here. So please double check, do your own homework here. DYN looking pretty good. We've got a nice slope. We've got a buy right along that upsloping 20, closing out near the high of the day. The weekly, the monthly show a nice trend. And this prior high here is the all-time high. So really no resistance overhead. Higher time frames, obviously in line. Earnings 59 days away, so looking pretty good. RSG is another one, a little further away from the 20 here, but looking like a solid potential breakout here again to all-time highs. Um, Really strong looking chart there. ANET, which is Arista Networks. Looking like a pretty successful retest happening here of the 20 after spending some time below. So, um, looking at the weekly, the monthly, solid trend. Look at the monthly chart. Opened up here, came all the way back down near 291 or so, bounced all the way back, and actually closed. Um, uh, Sorry, near or just above that prior high or the prior opening of that candle. So we've got a nice hammer type candle here, a very strong reversal throughout the month. That looks pretty good as well. We also have VRNA, Verona Pharma, looking pretty good here. Nice bullish engulfing bar right along that significant upsloping 20, closing out near the high of the day. Higher time frames are in line. We are pretty much at the all-time high here, so no resistance overhead. 64 days to the next earnings announcement, looking pretty good. Uber is another one. Now it's a little messier, no question, but still have a nice slope here. Looks like we're going to get a successful retest of that 20. The weekly's above, the monthly's above. And again, look at this monthly candle, just a huge move off that 20. That's another thing that gives me a little bit more confidence with this one. Earnings 65 days away. So, the only downside is there may be a bit of overhead resistance here coming up in and around the 78 level. We're at 73 right now. Another one, NRG here, looking pretty good. That looks like a nice successful retest of that 20. Again, we sit near all-time highs, no resistance overhead. Solid trend across the board. 66 days to the next earnings announcement. KLAC, KLA Corp. A more expensive stock, obviously sitting near 820 here. Again, after a significant move lower, I mean, we went from almost 900 down to 648 or so, and now we're back at 820. So this looks like it's on its way. And you look at the weekly, you look at the monthly, all looking really, really good here. What else do we have? PSN, just a couple more here. PSN, again, near all-time highs. Slope, definitely on that 20. Earnings far away, no resistance overhead. Looks pretty good. TKO is another one that's been consolidating. Now, so when I see this kind of thing, even though I have nice slope on the 20 here and a very small bar, or small range from high to low here, I want to make sure that it can clear the highs of this consolidation. So on this one, I'm looking for it to clear 120. That's really the main thing here. And to the short side, VTLE, which is a nice looking short here for a couple of reasons. Not only do we have significant slope lower and a very clear downtrend here with higher time frames aligned, earnings farther away, etc. But when we look at the weekly and especially look at the monthly, we can see that there's really no support down here. We are headed towards the all-time lows, which are sub $10. We're still at 35, almost 36. This looks like a great short to me. Okay, a couple other things, other symbols to keep in mind. This weekend there was a walkout of employees at a few of the big hotel chains, nationwide. Hundreds of employees walking out, and at different locations. So, although Hilton, Hyatt, and Marriott, those were the three chains mentioned. Although the way they closed last week looked very positive, and they're looking pretty good here. You may want to check what they're doing pre-market tomorrow if you have any interest in these or have a position in these, as we may see a pullback. So there's Hilton, there's Hyatt, and there's Marriott. again, read more about it. But from what I'm hearing, employees are walking out from these three big chains across the nation, which should interrupt business. So, um, just a cautionary note there. All right. Uh, and we will also be having another live market chat. That's on Wednesday morning, that is. So not tomorrow, but Wednesday morning, September 4th. Excuse me. We will be back with another live market chat. So hopefully you can join us then. But until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you on our next update. Take care.